There we go. All right. Welcome for another update of what's happening in the land of Bitcoin and magic money, cryptocurrencies, and all that good stuff. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are all COVID free, keeping safe, and of course, I hope you guys have the best trades in the world. Now, let's start first of all and have a look at where we ended up yesterday, and then we're going to see where we could be going from here. A lot has changed. There's quite some stuff to be looking at, but on the overall, I think there's more good news than bad news. Okay, so I hope you're ready. Let's dive in. So yesterday we ended up, let's say around here. I'm gonna drag a horizontal line just to be, no, a vertical line, sorry, just to mark it off more or less. So yeah, this entire situation here, all this is new formation. So what did we see? Yesterday I was expecting and hoping for a retest of the lower areas, giving us a bullish signal that got confirmed on the RSI. You know that I do like to look at what RSI is doing in respect of the price. I like to compare those two because this is the only way to read it correctly. And what do we see? We have on the 1 hour chart, we have like a double bottom, like we closed on exactly the same levels twice, while RSI is making a higher low. Now on the bigger scale, what do we see from this entire formation? We do see that we keep making higher lows, except for those two which are similar, but again, yeah, let's not look at this picture just yet. What was I expecting from this move? At least a retest of some higher areas, and then looking for a support forming a higher low, which would confirm that actually we are more sitting in an uptrend than we are sitting in a downtrend. And I know what most people are going to be thinking, like, oh, this is a lower high. Yes and no. A lower high to confirm a downtrend needs to be followed also by a lower low. Okay, so as you can see, things are still possible. You know, it's a game of probabilities. Let's say there's this much percent probability this much percent probability that, and you know, all we can do is just look at the possible scenarios, look for the signs that could give us a hint, and then go from there. Okay, I hope I make myself clear. Now, I hope a lot more people are starting to join in. Remember, a big supporter of Bybit. I'm not just shilling it because I get some bonuses. I do also have some great deals with the platform. They are very, very professional, very friendly. They have the best support I have ever witnessed on any kind of platform. And if you like to support my channel and give me a little boost and a motivation to keep doing what I'm doing, then I invite you to use my affiliate link, sign up to Bybit, also get your bonuses. There's at least already an $80 bonus for your first deposit. And then if you join me on my Discord channel, I can give you a lot more perks personally. You'll see it's totally worth it. Worst case scenario, you tried it, you don't like it, don't worry about it. You're not bound to anything. Take your bonus and, you know, you don't lose a thing. All right, so hope this is a good deal. Now here we go. What's happening from here? We did find this support area here. Now we can delete this, and we did get our push up. And what did I say? I said if we push up, we need to be careful, first of all, not to get stuck in this area here, because we might get a bearish signal from the little local high here on the RSI. Of course, price just push through, push through, push through. And what do we see on the RSI? We don't see anything alarming. This is just a nice continuation. So for now, everything flows the way it should be flowing. Of course, we did get a retest, slightly equal high on the 1 hour chart, but a lower high on the RSI. So we're trending a little bit, we're ranging, and now is the question, which of these areas is going to be used as a support, and what is the support going to look like? Because the way we set up for a support could also give us a big hint of what the reaction will be that follows. Okay, so few scenarios in mind. We could, just like we are sitting here, just find support on this node and keep trending, making our higher high eventually. Or we could dive a little bit lower, just a little bit lower than this area, and try to form a potential local bullish divergence. And then we might expect actually a really much stronger move to the upside, maybe even a breakout. So those are the two bullish scenarios I have in mind. On the bearish side, if we really start closing lower and forming lower lows, especially on this area, because we have our high, the next lower low, the highest lower low, will be this one. So we need to look at the former lowest, the lower high, sorry, for these things. We need to be looking at the low that comes from, that formed from here to this high. So this is the low which is relevant. If you really want to hold on to your position and you still believe, then maybe some of these lows could serve as well. But if you do this, make sure that you really keep an eye on the RSI in order to confirm your hunch. You know, don't just be like, yeah, I'm just going as low because I don't want to get wicked out and stuff. You know, the lowest local low, the lowest low, the point of really no return is still 12,700. That hasn't changed, because this is really the lowest area of this formation. But on a more local note, I'm pretty sure, I have a hunch, if we break this low, we could get a bounce up, giving a lower high, and this would maybe be a signal to start thinking about shorting the area, because once we start breaking the formation, then obviously we're starting to form something new. Now, what are we looking at for today? Honestly, here, this channel, I'm going to leave this one, but in grayscale and maybe a dotted line like this. It's still a little bit valid as a point of reference, but as a trending line, as a line of a channel, I think this one is completely void. Now this one, we're going to remove it. And what am I actually looking at right now? In my opinion, and this is just an opinion, well, what I think is that we are actually starting to form a rising triangle. Oh, not even this far. Like from here to here. And let's make this a solid red line again, like this. And now, which is the top of the trend, of the range? There are a few that we could set up. So the first one would be looking at it from the perspective of a wedge. Yeah, slightly rising, but also more or less symmetrical, with this node, the blue line, actually cutting straight into the middle. So, wedges can, especially symmetrical wedges, can break either to the upside or the downside. Both are possible. But then, on the other hand, if we zoom out a little bit, and let me clear all these things here up, yeah, I'm gonna leave those lines. They're not bothering as soon as we zoom in. On the other hand, what is also possible is that we are forming a rising triangle. Now, how are we going to confirm? Hey, Ewok, how are you doing? Thank you for joining. Hello, hello. Hope you're all doing fine. Thank you for joining the live stream. I'm really happy because, this has only been a few weeks that I'm streaming live and starting to get a little bit of interaction in the chat and stuff. It really makes me happy. Thank you for this. If you have any questions, if you have anything that I talk about that you do not understand, don't worry. Type me your questions. Tell me what the things are that you do not understand, and I will do my best to give a clear explanation of whatever it is that you're not familiar with. The idea is to bring a little more knowledge and not just to give you targets and, oh, here, buy here and you'll make so much money. I don't do that. I don't believe in this. I do believe in making your own TA, setting up your own strategies and trying to go from there. Because if you look at the price in an hour or in 2 hours or I don't know when, things might print a completely different picture. Okay, I don't believe in all that crystal ball stuff that many channels are doing, and honestly, I find it a little presumptuous to think that you can predict stuff on such a large scale. Of course, if you're looking at a macro point of view, like really, what are we looking at in the coming weeks or months and stuff? Okay, yeah, maybe you can make some sort of predictions, if you like to call it like this. But we are right here talking about day trading, and day trading is very moment fixed. So if in an hour you look at the same thing, then you could see like, oh no, this is actually not what's happening. We need to change our plan. And this is the kind of information that I'm trying to bring to you guys. Okay, I hope you can appreciate this. I've learned so much from a guy that I consider almost being a mentor. He did his live streams on a daily basis. We were only a few in the chat, capable of asking questions, asking some clarifications, and he took the time to give us the right information so we could start making our own technical analysis. And this is the kind of stuff I want to give back to the community, because I feel this brought me so much, and it's my way of saying thank you. Okay, so I hope you guys can appreciate this. Yeah. Now, things that could be forming, like I said, symmetrical wedge, perfectly possible. We could also have this rising triangle. You know what? I'm going to give this a different color, just like that, so you see a little bit what kind of nuance there is. Yeah. Something like this. Look at this. This is artwork, right? So either way, the easy thing would be, for now, if you're trading ranges, to use the range of this wedge. If by any chance the wedge starts to break and we find support on the upper area, that would be our signal to start thinking more in the idea of the rising triangle. On the other hand, if we start making lower lows and lower highs, then obviously this is a change of momentum. And hey, Pumara, how are you doing? Thank you very much. And welcome to the stream. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate everything. It's very nice to see so much response, and it feels, it really warms my heart. I love doing this. I love helping out, and yeah, thank you all. Now, before I lose my train of thought. Now, okay, we have those two scenarios possible. The idea is now that we want to analyze and have a look at what the implications could be, and how strong of a move we can expect. And like you know, I love to use the RSI calculator from Pigs. If you're using TradingView like I am, I do think you need a paid account. I'm not sure, but once you are signed up, then you can go to the indicators tab and look for Pigs reverse calculator panel. Just write in between brackets Pig, and you will see a few of those pop up. He has a few different indicators. This is my favorite, and you will see. Yeah. Thank you, Pumara. Yeah, I'm calm. Do I look not calm? I'm just trying to bring some energy, because sometimes I see those guys and it feels like they're doing this as as a special effort, and for me this is really what I love to do. So yeah, and I love you guys all of you. Thank you. So I'm looking, I'm using usually Pigs as indicator. It's by far one of the easiest tools I have found to use, especially for my way of trading. So what do I do? We're going to first of all remove this so we have a little bit of a better view. There we go. I'm going to remove the volume profile as well. This volume profile, if you're wondering, this is also a function that you can only access on the paid account of TradingView. I wish I could give you some hints where to find it for free, but so far I haven't found any other sources. This is the only way I found to have it active, and I use it a lot as well. This also gives me a very good insight. Yeah, yeah, I know. This is Pumara. This is it's stuff, especially in the economy and the times that we are right now. I think this is the time to be keeping an eye on all these charts, because this is going to bring you much more information, first of all, of what is happening in the world. And yeah, it's a good way. It's a good way to live your life, So yeah, let's keep going. The volume profile. This I'm sorry, but this belongs to the paid version of TradingView. But once you have it, I like to use this a lot as a sort of reference point to give me an idea where the strong areas of support can be found. So these nodes are not really telling you whether this is a buying or a selling zone. Honestly, I don't even like the colors because they are misleading sometimes. What is important is that here are areas where a lot of people have been interacting. buying, selling. A lot of action has happened here. And if we think a little bit more on the psychology of how the world of traders will be looking at this, and this is what everybody is looking at, they will use these areas as a reference point. You know, oh wow, do you have storms going on, Pumara? Yeah, lightning strikes can be very bad, especially for your computer equipment and stuff. Yeah, I really hope you'll be fine. Yeah. Um, but yeah, let's hope lightning doesn't strike us down on the price. I hope lightning doesn't strike us out of all of our great positions. And yeah, let's just hope for the good stuff. Yeah. Um, Now, these are areas of interest where other people are also going to be looking at, whether it is for taking profit on their shorts or setting up for a new long, possibly. You know? So, like I said, and it's a very difficult chart to be talking about two different scenarios or too many different scenarios, because chances are here a lot more that we are sitting in an uptrend. But let's go section by section and let's see what kind of conclusion or which area is going to tip a little more in favor than the other. Okay, so right now we do see a retest of this area. If we bounce up, this would be really great, but then we want to know which area we need to break before, or we need to stay under in order not to get in trouble with the RSI. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So let's have a look. Let's use pigs as indicator. This high here, the local high here, no, I'm sorry, Pumara. I can't open other videos and stuff on my stream. I'm really using my stream to do this thing. I'm not going to start streaming different stuff, because yeah, my channel, I try to keep it clean for all my analysis, and I don't want to confuse people with other stuff. Hope you understand. Thank you. So yeah, let's go. This high here, if price starts to shoot up, we want to know on which area, on which level we might get in trouble, and which areas we need to break or hold in order to keep a healthy formation from all this. So we have our high on the RSI here at 68.75, and we can read it here if I scroll over 68.75. Let's type it into the magic number predictor, 68.75, and let's see. Okay, now this is nice. This is quite high. What does this say? If and when we break this area of 13,600, if we have a candle closing above 13,600, we want to see continuation, at least to break 13,724. So the area of problem would be 13,600 until 13,723. You know what? I'm going to make a little box here. Like this, just to mark it off. So we do not want to get caught inside of that box and start making lows. Okay, it could be very possible that we hit the box, find some support somewhere, or even here on the green trend line and start closing higher, this would be very easy, very healthy. But if we get stuck in the box, start making lows, and start actually making a lower low on this area, because we are comparing this to the newer high, this is where we should start accepting the fact that we have a bearish divergence, and you know that the price is turning around. So the blue box area here, important one to keep your eyes on. Now on the other side, if we go down, we could also be forming a bullish divergence with all these local lows here. So just for the sake of being thorough, we're going to go over these as well. But what do you say if we analyze this local high here first on the higher time frames? So maybe that's a good idea. We keep this one in mind. We go over the higher time frames, have a look at where the numbers correspond, just to make sure that we're reading this okay. And then we're going to go do the same thing on the lower time frames with the local lows. What do you think? Is that a good idea? So let's go to the 3-hour chart. And why do I like the 3-hour chart? I said it a lot. It just has a different frequency of closing. I like to compare the 3-hour chart with the 4-hour chart because they just close a little bit differently. We have on 12 hours, we have 4 closes of the 3-hour chart, and we have 3 closes on the 4-hour chart, and they don't correspond. So the reads of the closes and the candles look sometimes a little more different. So let's have a look at what the 3-hour chart gives us. This high here is sitting at 60.15. So let's fill it out. Same thing, 60.15. Now 60.15, and this is quite interesting, 60.15 puts us at 13,636. So quite a bit lower. Basically, this is, if on the 3-hour chart, if we manage to just close a little bit higher than this candle here, than this one here, I'm going to zoom in on this stuff. So this candle here, this close here, if we close just a little bit higher than that, like just above the wick of the red candle, let me zoom in even a little bit more. If we manage to close above this wick, already for the 3-hour chart, we are golden. Okay, so you see how these areas on the different time frames give different reads as well. So let's go to the 4-hour chart. And what do you see here? This is here an even more interesting picture, because on the 4-hour chart, we never even closed this high. Yeah, so let's have a look at what the RSI is telling us for the 4-hour chart. So 4-hour chart says 58.88. Let's have a look. All right, so the 4-hour chart would tell us that we need, in order to get a higher high and a higher high on the RSI, we need to break 13,565. 13,500. And again, this is just above this wick here. So in my opinion, it's an opinion, and it depends on how the candles close. But as soon as we will start seeing a push above this area, I think we are golden. If we are stuck in here, just double check with the higher time frames to see what kind of corresponding signals you can see. Because the higher time frames, as they are longer periods, they are actually quite a lot more dominant over the lower time frames. The lower time frames could maybe indicate a little motion within the scheme of the bigger time frames. Yeah. Now, the one that actually can also give us a little bit of an insight on the longer motion is the 10-hour chart, because this one has a completely strange way of closing. You know, a day has 24 hours, but every 10 hours there is a candle close on the 10-hour chart. So if we do a little bit of a calculation, 240, 120, 60, well, let's call it 120. On 5 days, on a 5-day rotation, we do have 12 candle closes of the 10-hour chart. So you see, this is actually a longer scale of rotating through the candle closes. This is why I really like the 10-hour chart, because it gives us such a different picture on the macro point of things. Now, what do we see here? This is very, very interesting. This high, okay, let's try not to think too much about it. We can do the same little magic trick that we were doing. So 56.18, let's start with that, 56.18. So yeah, same thing, 13,600 plus. We need to get above 13,600. On a 1-hour chart, I would even prefer to see us really break the 13,725, let's call it. And you know, this would be very, very, very strong signals. On the 10-hour chart, I think it would be more interesting to be looking at the lows, because there is quite a lot more interesting happening there. Right now we are looking at a little bit, tiny smudge of a potential bullish divergence. We could go a little bit lower, retest maybe this area, but not within this candle. Maybe in a few candle closes, test the bottom. This would be healthy. But if we close below this area, this candle here, if we close below this, that would actually completely negate the bullish signal we get from here. Does this mean we are starting a downtrend? No, because this is a continuation, but then the change of this whole pattern has not been initiated yet on the longer term. Okay, there's a lot of nuances on how to read it exactly. But again, we do have this huge node area which is sitting here defending this area more or less. But remember, this is cryptocurrency land. There are no stops, there are no regulations. If price decides to tank, despite of every kind of read that you were making, because sometimes it does, you know, you need to set your points of no return. Keep always that in mind. It's not because it's looking positive right now that it's going to stay like this. Am I making myself clear? I really hope so, because I don't want to give you any ideas, especially the spoon boys. I try, and I hope we stay away from this. I'm not spoon feeding any kind of information. Okay, I'm just giving you the tools that you could use in order for yourself to become a better trader and more profitable. Yeah. Now, very interesting is the stochastic here. Now, the stochastic is right now curled over a little bit, but this is the neutral zone. A little bit even more on the upside than the downside. So we can see stochastics snake around as we are looking for a new trend. if we are holding an uptrend, sometimes it can just snake around in the high area, the bullish control zone. Sometimes if we are just snaking around, going slowly down, then we are snaking around here in the bearish control area. Now let's have a look. We will extend this this trend line. It is possible that we could see a little more snaking, eventually even a retest of this this lower trend line before we get a nice reversal. What will this mean on the price for now? Because here we do have a little bit of a steep slope to the downside. This is what we are seeing. This is all the times those moves down that are actually a little more violent than the moves up. Okay, so this is what you're seeing here. This is the momentum right now. But as long, like I said, as long as we are not making lower lows, this is not a confirmed downtrend. We really want to see lower lows being closed and then followed by lower highs. This will be a confirmed downtrend. Okay. Yeah. Let's not jump ahead of conclusions. What did I say now? Let's go back to the 1 hour chart and let's look at the local lows to see what kind of positive and negative reads we can see in respect of the RSI. Okay, so again, let's have a look here at the stochastics. You see that stochastic is curling over a little bit. Of course, yeah, we are moving slightly down here. Is this a problem? As long as we don't close below these zones here, especially this one, well, actually both because they're on the same level, as long as we don't start closing below all this, for now I would not start to think about panicking. Even if we close a little bit lower than this, there will be a reaction to the upside, like I said, followed by a lower high, and this is where we continue the races down. Yeah. But here, let's have a look at the RSI and let's see what kind of reads we would need, and if the ranges are wide enough to give us a good chance of either making a bullish divergence, or if the range is so tight that, you know, we can almost expect that the range will be broken anyway. Yeah. So first of all, let's look at this one. I'm going to mark them off so you guys know what we're talking about. This one, and this one. Those are the three areas that I would like to have a read on. So the first one being here, this is the closest one, and this gives us a read of 36.7. Let's go 36.7. Let's have a look. 36.7, and this will give us a RSI, a price read of 13,150. 13,150 is more or less this area here. So yeah, making a bullish divergence, making a lower low while holding a higher low would only give us a range of 13,180 to 13,150. So $30 range. This is really tight and narrow. But let's go on. Let's look at these areas here, because I think those are more significant in the scale of this picture. So let's have a look. This one is sitting at 34.8, 34.9. Let's call it 34.9. So 34.9 we would be sitting at 114. So 114, this is more or less the yellow line here. And this is where we would start making a lower low on this one. Now, the other area would be this one here. So, you know, the way I see it for now, at best, we will make a higher low formation. At worst, we are just going to see a little more continuation, and also depending on where we are sitting right now, this could either be breaking the trend and ranging within this area, or actually starting to go lower. So I do think it's very important that we hold these levels, preferably that we are able to hold this wedge on the low side, because trouble is very easily found on these levels. Let's go to the 3-hour chart, because maybe the 3-hour chart is going to give us a little bit of a different read, you know. So let's have a look. Let's bring this a little more higher. There we go. And I'm going to delete those because I hope you remember which areas we're talking about. We're talking about this one here, and this one. Okay. Now let's start with the first one. 44.6. Magic numbers, 44.6. So, as soon as we get below 175, we will be making a lower low on the RSI. And 175, this is exactly smack on the same area. Next one, let's go over it a little bit quicker. 41.4. 41.4 would put us at 13,066, and this low is sitting again almost the same areas. So yeah, I do believe that right now we are more hoping to see a continuation pattern of this whole formation. What we want to see is a confirmation of this bullish signal, because this was a bullish divergence. Let's mark it off, this one and this one. Not really big, but big enough to be at least a signal. And we are talking about RSI 40.8 over 42.13. So still a few points different. So yeah, the question is it going to hold? Are we going to see our trending move up? Or are we going to break down, negate this whole formation, and are we going then to be looking for other lows to start pushing a limit or a bottom against? Because that's eventually if we tank down, we are going to find a new bottom. Bitcoin is, I don't think Bitcoin is going to zero. Well, not in one move, not in the near future. But everything is possible, and you need to keep your eyes open for all possibilities. Now let's just do the same exercise on a 4-hour chart, but I don't think the reads are going to be that much more different. So you see, like, this is what you're looking for. Are all the charts saying the same thing? This is going to confirm what you're thinking. So let's look at this one, because this is the local low. There is no different local low to be seen. Let's have a look. 42.5. This is like this, 42.5. Let's turn it on. Well, 13,067, and again 13,067. This is just too close of a range to try and get a bullish divergence out of this one. If we go to this level, we're going to make a lower low on the RSI. If we stay above this level, we're going to make a higher low and a higher low on the RSI. So right now it's just very easy. Look at the highs, look at the lows, and compare these. Now before I drag this out way too long, I'd like to thank you very much for joining me. I hope this was informative. And as you know, at the end of the stream, I like to look at the other markets. I like to overlook what the dollar is doing, especially the dollar, because this is a very strong counterpart of what Bitcoin is being traded against. Most countries, most platforms, most people do trade Bitcoin against US dollar. Am I right or wrong? So this is why I like to look at the dollar index, especially with all the craziness in the economy going, all the stimulus and all these things, because if the dollar loses strength, then without changing the volume of Bitcoin, this is already going to influence the price higher. Same thing goes for the other markets. So let's have a look at the dollar and let's see what is happening. Now on the 4-hour chart, the dollar is actually looking pretty strong. I'm not happy to say this, but it's looking pretty strong. Although on a larger scale, I'm starting to feel that no, not yet. We're not in trouble yet. There's no trouble to be seen. Not on the larger scales. Not on the shorter scales, time frames as well. Let me remove this so we have a better picture. So yeah, for now I do think this is a nice continuation pattern. This is actually a continuation. Now what could happen, maybe a retest of the lower areas. We already did get a swipe here, like just this wick touching with this wick on the same levels, which is fairly interesting. Now is the question, yeah, where do we go from there? Are we going to see more higher highs? This is possible. Are we going to start seeing a continuation, a slow ranging and accumulation? This is also possible. I would just keep my eyes right now on where potential divergences can be played, because especially traditional markets are very much more sensitive to divergences and all these signals, because there's more educated traders looking at the same chart, and this is why those signals become much more strong as a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if everybody is looking at the same patch in the sky, then of course we're all going to be able to discuss and to talk about that same patch in the sky as well. Okay, if everybody would be looking at something different, then it's going to be less likely to see patterns emerge. And obviously all those markets do have their patterns emerging, and this is because we're all looking at the same things and we're all trying to make our own strategy while looking at the same chart. Everybody wants to go somewhere, but you all have the same roadmaps, and same goes with traffic. The main roads are the ones most used. Why? Because everybody that wants to go somewhere eventually needs to use it, right? So here, let's look at E-mini futures, E-minis. What is E-minis doing? E-minis is bouncing against this area. For now, there is no negative divergence in play. There is just continuation, and maybe if we get to mark off these two areas, maybe a bullish divergence building up, which is a good thing, because also if mini futures is starting to trend up, chances are that eventually the dollar will capitulate and that all the other markets are going to follow. So let's have a look at S&P 500, the big boys. Let's see what they are doing and saying. Same thing, same thing. We do have a potential bullish divergence, lower low, with on the price a higher low. Of course, it's still very early, it's potential, but as soon as we start especially ranging again inside or above this blue box, I think this is a good signal that we're off for the races again. And let's have a look one more time. You know, I want to check the dollar, and I want to see which areas could get us in trouble. Because if the other markets are looking quite promising, then maybe we can find some further level to be looking at that could maybe get the price in trouble. Whoops. Let's take this orange line. I'm thinking somewhere around this area we could maybe get in trouble, but let's do the calculation. So on this high here, we do see RSI sitting at 79.1. So let's calculate it. 79.1. So 79.1 would be at around 74.7. Interesting. Now I'm going to change the setting here. Because sometimes this setting takes in account also the highs and the lows and not only the closes and the opens. There's a lot more being calculated there. So let's have a look. What does this say here? 82.85. 82.85. Let's see. Same thing. Okay, interesting. Very, very interesting. Maybe we want to zoom out on the daily, because maybe the daily is going to give us a more bigger frame picture. What we do see, this is actually quite strong. We do see this entire area reading lower lows, lower highs. There was only these little trees here It did form a bullish divergence, pushing up, but now this one and this one are a higher high, while if we look at all these stops, they don't even come close to this one. Is that making sense? Is my artwork making sense for you guys? So yeah, this is interesting. This is interesting. We might see another test to the upside. It's perfectly possible. So we might see some pressure on the markets and maybe on Bitcoin, depending on how strong Bitcoin is correlating right now. Because Bitcoin, oh, let's look at the daily. Yeah, the daily is also very interesting. Let's look, see how price has, how the stochastics have pushed themselves into this wedge. Eventually it's going to break. Eventually it will break. So yeah, you know, we're not quite set for the races yet. Keep your eyes on all these things, guys. Try to go level by level, especially now. Don't be greedy. Maybe in 12 hours, maybe in a few days, we might start seeing a different picture, a better, more clear picture. But for now, this range is still what I'm looking at. If we are to be looking at a like this, a triangle shape, could be this here. This one, I'm going to remove it from the hourlies. Okay. Oh, no. I'm going to remove it from the dailies. Like this. Okay. So yeah. Level. I'm sorry. Hey, Heldidley, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I'm sorry if you missed the biggest part of it. I'm actually closing down. I'm rounding up. But if you look at my page on Dlive, there's a link to my YouTube channel, and the restream will be posted there. So I will upload this video as I'm recording it to the YouTube page. Hope that's great for you guys. Okay, so yeah, just rewatch, and then you will have the entire video. Yeah, it's not an easy name. You're not making it easy for me. And Roy Baser, thank you for your donation. Thank you very, very, very much. It really means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, I have so many platforms I'm streaming on. I can't keep track of the donations. I need to find a good app. If you guys know a good app that will gather all the information of all the chat donations and all these things easily, so I don't have to be switching screens and windows all the time, yeah, feel free to send me a link or give me some ideas. Yeah, I'm working on everything. It's yeah, it's fun. Thank you. So yeah, where was I? So yeah, we're right now looking more on a local picture. We're gonna try to not screw with the future too much. like I said, if we start building lower lows, chances are we're also going to end up making a lower high, and this would be an indication that for now the uptrend is a little bit over. How low can we go? Basically, you know, since RSI is already sitting so low, any one of these support areas could initiate such a strong bullish signal that I don't really expect price to break down very you know, much more. Maybe at lowest the 11,400 area. I think this would really be the lowest limit of them all. You know, let's just enter the magic numbers to see 11,400. Let's have a look. Oh, Jesus, yeah. That would give us an RSI of 9.4. And if we look back at the history, you know, the only area that actually really got it this low is right here. This is this area here. And this one is sitting at a beautiful 10,000. So over 1,400, over $1,000 range between making a bounce here and a strong divergence signal on all these lows here. So yeah, a real meltdown I do not expect, but if we start closing lower than at least 12,700, that would be really the point of no return. If we start even wicking below 12,700, game over. Start looking for other strategies to the downside. But yeah, for now I'm pretty much optimistical. Worst case scenario, maybe what could also be, oh Jesus, what could also be seen as a rising channel or a rising triangle is still this area here, this formation. You know, so this is why I really want to take one of these lows here as my indicator of a reversal of the trend. As long as we don't break these, I'm keeping my hands off of the short button, and you know, maybe close my position a little bit early if I would be in the long, so that I can take the pain of seeing the price drop. But as long as we don't go below 12,700, I think we're still good on the midterm and the short term. Well, this is it. I'm gonna leave you guys with this whole bookload of information. I'm always really happy to have all the feedback, the return, the chitter chatter in the chatter. I really love it. Thank you guys for hey, Ciro, Baba, Madhav. Well, you're South Africa. Welcome to the stream. Very international. Hello. I'm gonna keep it short, Sarah. Hope you're doing great in South Africa. There you go. Well, this is it. Tomorrow, same time, same channel. UTC, I try to start my stream at about 12:30 because this is after the most major candle closes. So I hope you guys to see you guys there tomorrow, 12:30 UTC. So calculate it for your own time zones, and yeah, let's make this a daily thing. Thank you very much for joining. I wish you all the best of the best. I wish you a happy trading. And if you want to support my channel, go check out Bybit. There's a link, an affiliate link in the description. It helps the channel a lot, gives me, gives me the motivation to keep pushing through, and it's also going to give you some nice bonuses and some great perks when you join my Discord channel afterwards. I can tell you these things once you're in, but yeah, you got nothing to lose. You don't like it, you can step out, it's not a problem. But in the meanwhile, I wish you guys a happy day, stay safe, and let's see you guys on the next stream. Bye bye. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to